All actions in our life are preceded by our mind. All the mental phenomenon, everything that we can know, everything that we can understand, our mind comes first before all of them because our mind is the chief and they are all made up by our mind. So if you speak or act with a corrupted or impure mind, then suffering or dukkha follows you like the wheel of a cart follows the hoof of an ox that's pulling it. You cannot escape it. If you have bad intentions, if you have bad thoughts, if you carry them, then bad consequences or bad situations will follow you as well. You see, once upon a time, there was a blind, enlightened monk. One night, while walking in front of his residence, doing walking meditation or whatever, he stepped on some insects and killed them. So next morning, when some people came to visit him, they immediately saw the dead insects and was like, "This is a bad monk, he killed insects," and they immediately thought ill of the monk. And so they went to complain it to the teacher. And when the teacher asked, "Did you see the monk step on the insects? Did you see them kill him? Did you see the monk kill those insects?" And the people who came to complain were like, "Nope, we didn't." And so the teacher explained to them that the monk was already enlightened. He had no ill intentions, right? And he is blind. He didn't even see the insects. So he was innocent. And then those people started questioning more, saying, okay, if he is enlightened, why is he blind, right? And so the teacher explained to them about the story of the blind monk. Basically, in one of his previous life, the blind monk used to be a doctor, and he had a patient, a woman who came to cure her eyesight, right? And they had an agreement that if the doctor is able to cure the woman's eyesight, then she and her kids, her children, would be slave or would work under the doctor, right? And they went forward with the treatment, and after the treatment, the woman started getting scared. The woman started thinking, oh my God, now I have to become a slave. Now my kids will have to become a slave for this doctor. And so the woman lied, saying, my eyes are even worse now. But in fact, her eyes were completely cured. She had 20/20 vision, but she lied, right? And the doctor knew because the doctor did everything correctly. The procedure was good, the medications, whatever. The doctor was confident in what he did, and he did cure her eyesight. But she lied to him, right? And she tried to deceive him. So, in revenge, the doctor gave the woman some sort of ointment that made her completely blind. You see, now the doctor messed up. Now the doctor acted with impure or corrupted mind, right? So because of this evil action of the doctor, in many of his later life, in many of his next life, later existence, he was born blind or he lost his eyesight. And that's why the monk was blind. You see, this is what the karma that people always talk about is. Because the monk, when he was a doctor, he did something bad, he's still blind when in his new life as a monk, right? And the teacher was actually the Buddha, and the monk's name is something I can't pronounce properly, so I'm not even gonna try. And yeah, so this is about karma, but not karma actually means action, right? And every action has its own fruit or reaction. So bad action leads to bad reaction or bad fruit. And so that's how it works in Buddhism. Everything that happens in your life, all the bad stuff that's happening in your life, it's kind of your fault, because what you did, you're getting the fruit of it. You're reaping what you sow. That's what the whole message is, right? But it doesn't always mean it's bad. When with a corrupted mind or impure mind, you speak or act, then suffering or dukkha follows you like a wheel of a cart follows a hoof of an ox. Similarly, if you speak or act with a pure mind, then happiness or sukha follows you like the shadow of a man that never leaves. And there's another story for this as well. So basically, once upon a time, there was a young boy and he had a very cheap father. His father was so cheap that, well, they were rich, but very cheap. His father was so cheap that even the gold ornaments, the jewelry that they had, he made it himself because he didn't want to pay the crafts extra. He didn't want to spend extra money to pay for the craftsmen, right? So he just made everything by himself. And one day the young boy got sick, and being a cheap father, he didn't get any doctors, he didn't get any physicians. So the illness got even worse, and now the young boy was about to die, right? And you know, when people are about to die, your relatives, the guests come meet the about to die person, yeah, right? And so the father placed the young boy outside in the balcony, not inside the house, right? Because he didn't want the guest to come inside and see all his wealth, all his possessions, right? He was like so materialistic. He didn't want others to see that. So he placed his boy outside in the balcony. And in one of the mornings, when the Buddha was walking around for, like, you know, alms, like getting food from everybody, and he saw the boy, and the boy saw the Buddha. And well, he's sick, he's about to die. He couldn't offer anything, he couldn't do anything, right? So what he did was just from his heart profess his faith, right? And that was enough. He didn't have to do anything anymore. That was enough. From the bottom of his heart, he professed his faith to the Buddha, and he died with a heart of devotion and faith and belief. And he was reborn in a higher realm, or the heaven. Let's just call it heaven, right? The celestial realm, heaven. Let's just call it heaven for now. He was born in heaven. And that goes to show that if you have pure thoughts, then happiness follows as a result of that. So basically, these two stories are from the book called Dhammapada, and these two are the first stories of the book. There are 423 stories, and these are like timeless stories, and timeless. The morals of the stories are timeless. It will be applicable for whatever time it is, right? These are the stories given by the Buddha, and it still works because it's basically saying, do good, good things will happen to you. Do bad, bad things will happen to you. But people are like, oh, I'm doing so much good, but still bad things keep on happening to me. And the Buddha and the Buddhism approach to this is, well, maybe you did something bad before. You know, like how the monk, he did something bad, right, in his past life, but he's still suffering due to it. He's still blind. And in Buddhism, it's more of accountability. And yeah, I just wanted to share this message. And there are more stories, and I'm making this video so that I'll understand more of this thing that I need to understand, more of the stories that I need to understand. The stories have profound messages, and I cannot understand. I'm not a monk, I'm just a human being, just a layman, right? And I'm just making this video to spread the dharma, trying to understand it myself, and trying to make others understand. And since I'm posting this on social media, there might be comments, people might say some stuff, right? And that will eventually help me more to understand the things, because it's always like this, right? You know something, you learn something, but after some time, like days, weeks, years later, right, you become like, oh, okay, so that's what it was, right? And so yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. trying to spread dharma, trying to improve my understanding of the dharma, because I'm memorizing all of this, right? It's all in my head now. I cannot forget it anymore. Yeah, I just want to spread the dharma and try to understand it more just as a lay person. I'm not a monk, I'm not anything. I'm just a person that's trying to improve. And if you want to tag along in this journey, follow, subscribe, whatever, right? And yeah, that's it for this video.